think in the next 40 minutes we should be out of here. That works. Now, so question 1 is on variances, and is the kind of variance that the examiner hasn't examined on, really, like the II, material price planning variance, and then those kind of things. Remember I told you that the mixed advanced variances, the examiner is likely to set some questions on them. So Carabco is an electronic company which makes 2 types of televisions: plasma screens TVs and then LCD TVs. It operates within a highly competitive market and is constantly under pressure to reduce prices. Carabco operates a standard costing system and performs a detailed variance analysis of both products on a monthly basis. Extracts from the management information for the month of November are as follows. Total units made and sold. So units made and sold is 1,400. But I'll see details of that is in note 1. And then material price variance. So material price variance has been calculated, and that is how much? 28,000 adverse. Now the focus is material price variance. Next thing, total labor variance. Now this is total labor variance, which is 60/50 adverse. Now total labor variance means what? Total labor variance means what?
It's the summation of the
direct labor rate variance and then the direct labor efficiency variance. Are you getting the idea? Okay. Note, the budgeted total volume for TVs was 1,180, consisting of equal mix of what? The LCD and then what? The screen. So writing preambles out. So budget for the what are the TVs? Plasma and then LCD. Or say budget to know 1180, isn't it? And I'll say it consists of equal mix. So what do? We divide it by 2. Can I have an answer? So 590 for this, 590 for that. That's the first thing, budgeted units. Let's go. Actual sales volumes was 7 so actual. For plasma, we are told it is what? 750. And then for LCD, it is what? 650. Very important. We go. The standard selling price is how much? 530. Very important. So standard selling price is 530 for plasma, and then LCD is what? 300. So standard selling price. Let me just put it somewhere here. Selling price plasma is $350. LCD $300. Then we are told that the actual selling price during November were 330 per unit for plasma. So actual 330 for plasma, and then how much? 290 for the LCD. 290 for LCD. The standard contribution for plasma. So contribution, standard contribution are also given respectively as 190 and then what? 180. That is note 1. That is note 1. So from note 1, we have the budgeted units. We have the actual units. Then we have the budgeted selling prices. We have the actual selling prices. Then we also have what? The standard contribution. Are you getting it? Which has been given as 190 for plasma and then 180 for LCD. Note 2. The sole reason for this. Now remember, this information provided to us is in relation for the Material price what? Variance. Now, if you check the requirements of the question, we are told that calculate the following for the month of November, showing all workings clearly. Then it says the sales price variance and then sales volume contribution what? Variance. How do you calculate the sales price variance? How do you calculate the sales price variance?
Sales price.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Sales
Sales price is based on what? The actual units sold, isn't it? Sales price is based on actual units sold. So it simply means for the actual unit sold, how much should we have sold it and how much did we what? Sell it. Does it make sense? So plasma. For plasma TVs, the actual sales is 750 for plasma. So the 750 should have sold for we multiply it by the standard selling price for plasma, 350. What do we have? Fastest one, please. 262 500. But this sold for, what is the but this sold for? The actual selling price is 330. So that will be 750 times 330. What do we have? What do we have?
247,500.
247.
500.
Good or bad? We should have had this income. And so it's adverse variance of how much? 15,000. Now, so another way this thing could have been solved is to put the standard price here, the actual price here. John, that's what you did. Yes. Then we put the difference here. Then you bring the standard, quantity here, and then you get the variance. What do I mean by that? It simply means that the selling price, the standard selling price, 350. The actual selling price, 330. What difference do we get? Negative 20. Okay? Then the actual quantity of how much? 750. What do we get? 1,005 adverts. Make sense? 15,000 adverts. Do you see the idea? So you could go with this approach or this. The one that will work for you, you stay with it. Next one. LCD TV. Let's go. LCD, what's the actual? 650. So the 650 should have sold for, what is the standard price for the LCD? You sure?
No.
Standard price, 300. We have it here, $300. So what do I have? 650 by 300. Ibeyai.
$195,000.
But it sold for $650. What's the actual selling price for plasma? $290. Ibeyai.
188,500.
188.
500.
Good or bad? of
6,500.
6,500. Another way we could have solved this is we bring LCD here, standard price 300, actual price 290, difference -20, actual quantity sold. Okay, -10, actual quantity sold. So it will be 6,500 adverts. Make sense? This one looks simpler, right? So that's it about that. It depends on how the question is drafted. If the question is drafted like this, where you don't have totals for each of them, then certainly going by this, you'll be easy. But then if it's not like that, then this approach has to be done. So that is the sales price variance. Let's go to the second one. What is the second one? Sales volume. Now, what is sales volume variance about?
Output.
So this is comparing the budgeted output against what? The actual output. Then we take it at the standard what? Contribution per unit. Remember, anytime you're dealing with sales volume variance, you are going to be using what? The standard contribution or standard profit. So if standard profit is not there, you use what? Standard contribution. So let's go. We're going to have budgeted output, then actual output, then we will have the difference in the middle, okay? Then we'll bring standard contribution here, and then that will give us what? The variance. So follow me carefully. So for plasma, what is the budgeted output? Plasma 590. Am I right? 590. Then actual output for plasma 750. So difference 160. Good or bad? Good. You should have sold 590, but you sold 760. So this is a favorable variance. Then I said the standard contribution. Because you are dealing with volume variance, you have to use the standard contribution. Now the standard contribution was given in the question. For plasma is what? $190. Can you see that? Can you see that? $190. So now 160 times 190, what do I get? So 30,400. Boom. There you go. Then we come to LCD. Budgeted unit for LCD is also 590. But actual unit for LCD is what? 650. So difference. 60. What is the standard contribution for the LCD? Standard contribution for LCD 180.
The contribution I got wrong.
Yes. So you should use the contribution. So these are the concepts. So with the sales volume variance, you have to use standard contribution or standard profit. Standard contribution or profit. So assuming contribution was not here and profit was here, we will use that one. Can I have an answer for this? $10,800. Favorable. So that's it. So that is the I aspect of that question. Calculating the sales price variance and then the sales volume variance. And that is 6 marks. That's 6 marks. Indeed, if I say we anyway 6 marks. Say any serious deal here. So that's it. Now let's build up II, then you can write. I know you're already ahead of me. Let's do II. Then I leave you to write all. What is II saying? What is II saying?
Material price planning variance.
And then what?
Material price operational variance.
Good. Remember I told you that the reason why material price planning variance is always done and the material price operational variance is done is that it is actually a breakdown of what we call the material price variance. If we want to really understand the material price variance, we have to separate it to each component. The material usage variance component in the mix and what? Yield variance. Are you getting it? Where component ni, but when soon the component in the almost material price planning variance and then the material price what? Operational variance. Now, what is this about? I think I gave you some formulas when we were doing this. So let me just put the formulas down. First, material price planning variance is equal to, so this is the formula. Original target price, minus general market price at the time of purchase times the actual quantity purchased. Times the actual quantity purchased. So that's the formula. That's the formula. Now, we need to ask ourselves about the materials that were purchased during the year. So if we check out the question, okay, so note 2. Let's go to note 2. We didn't read note 2. The sole reason for this variance was an increase in the price of one of its key components, X. Each plasma TV made and each LCD TV made requires 1 unit of component X, for which Karatco standard cost is $60 per unit. Due to a shortage of components in the marketplace, the market price for November went up to what? $85 per unit. Karatco actually paid how much? $80 per unit. So if you check, the original target cost is the standard cost we set. So what was our standard cost? $60, okay, per unit. But what was the general price at the time in November? $85. $85. Then what was the actual quantity of component X that we bought? Are you sure? How? Actual quantity of component X we bought. What do you think is the actual quantity of component X we bought? It depends on the usage. They said that each plasma TV made and each LCD TV made requires 1 unit of component X. So what does it mean? What does it mean? How many units were made for X and Y? For plasma and the LCD? Actual units.
750 for plasma.
750 and then
650.
650 for this. Was that the actual? Okay. So each of these require 1. So 750 plus 650, what do we have? 1,004. Now I want you to follow me carefully. The unit we produce is 650, or yes, it's 650 for plasma, and then sorry, 750 for plasma, 650 for the LCD. But each of the units require 1 unit of the component X. Until the usage is 750, the usage is 650, meaning this is what we bought. Hence, the quantity purchased will be what? 1,400. So you give me the arithmetic, and that gives us the material price planning variance. Does it make sense? Or you are lost? You get it? Okay. What do we have? 35,000. Is it good or bad? This was your target, but this was your this was the market price. So this is an adverse variance. I hope you get the idea. Now, why is this variance important? I'll come back to that. Because remember, this is material price planning. Meaning that your organization, the people who plan, who make budgets, did not budget well. Because how can you budget 60 and then at the time the thing goes to 85? So possibly they didn't do their work well, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Then his brother, material price operational what? Variance. Material price operational variance. This one too, the formula is this. The general price at the time of purchasing
I got this one.
You got this one?
The II.
Which one?
I got,
You got the 35,000? Really?
yes.
Let me
You
see.
didn't have to. You at that time what you
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry. It's true. He got it.
You are right. Your girlfriend was there at that time.
Oh, Charlie. How can I be marking like that? Then general price minus. Oh, suppose I be money about you. I drink money about you, Irina. The actual price paid
The
times
contract is not yet to your book.
quantity purchased. So this is the formula for the material price operational variance. Now listen carefully. When I was teaching you, I gave you the reason why some of these things are done. You see, if the general price is, what's the general price? 85. How much did we pay? 80. So what's the times still 1,400? So what do we get for the answer? So meaning you will get that answer as well, I guess. John, you will get that answer as well. Or that one, you didn't do it this way. Okay. So what do we get?
7,000.
Is it good or bad? This is what everybody is buying it at. This is the price in the market. But when your purchasing officers went, they paid this price. It's good. It's good. So what does this tell us? It tells us that our purchasing department, their negotiation skill is good because they're able to beat down the price. Now, subject to the fact that they didn't buy shoddy goods. Are you getting the idea? Because you can do Miyasa 2000, but the Miyasa 2000 is shoddy goods. So subject to the fact. But that is how we deal with the material price planning and the material price operational variance.
I didn't get down.
You didn't get down.
I used the standard.
I'll position myself to do that way very well. Let's go to III. III, the examiner said we should calculate the labor rate variance and then what? The labor efficiency variance. Now, on a quick one, labor rate variance is based on what? Labor rate variance is based on
Cost.
the
The rate, the actual amount.
actual hours. Okay? The hours that we use. Then the labor efficiency variance is based on what? The actual units that we have produced. I hope you are getting the idea. Right. So let's go. Now, the note 3 relates to the labor rate variance. So let's read the note 3. Each plasma TV uses 2 standard hours of labor, and each LCD TV uses 1.5 standard hours of labor. The standard cost for labor is, I'm very much interested in that one. The standard cost of labor is how much? $14 per hour. Now, listen to this case carefully. And this also reflects the actual cost per labor hour for the company's permanent staff in November. Did you hear that? So this money that is the standard, it is also the actual for EBAZ permanent staffs. Very important. Let's go. However, because of the increase in sales and production volume in November, the company also had to use additional temporary labor at a higher cost of how much? 18. So even though we will pay our permanent staff 14 per hour actually, the temporary staff will come in and we will have to pay them how much? $18 per hour. I'm building a point. The total capacity of Karat's permanent workforce is how many hours? 2,200. So that is the capacity of the company. Let's go. Assuming full efficiency, in the month of November, the permanent workforce were wholly efficient, taking exactly 2 hours to complete each plasma TV and exactly 1.5 hours to produce each LCD TV. The total labor hour variance, therefore, relates solely to the what? Temporary workers in TTNA. Sankaya permanent staff now, we wouldn't have any what? Variance, because they worked the same way they are supposed to work, and we pay them the same we have budgeted to what? Pay them. However, this labor variance you are seeing above here is because of the temporary staff that we are what? Bringing. Who took twice as long as what? The permanent. So if the permanent use 2 hours, they will use how many hours? 4 to do the job. Now, so if the variance above here relates to the temporary staff, then we need to get the temporary staff hours. To do that, this is what we will say. This is what we will say. So at efficiency, how many units did we produce for each of them? So let me put plasma here. And then let me put LCD here. And let me put total here. Now, if you look at the actual units produced, labor hours for plasma is how many? How many units did we produce for plasma? 750. What is the usage per hour? For plasma? 2. So 750 by 2 is what? 1,005. So labor hours at efficiency, 1,005 for plasma. LCD, how many did we produce? 650, right? What is the hours they use per unit? 1.5. So 650 times 1.5, what do we get? 975. When we add it, total labor hours we will have used will be what? 2475. Now I want you to listen to me carefully. The units we produced for the plasma and the LCD, the total hours we used was 2475. Name the examiner said that the variance you are seeing above here is not because of our permanent staff, but because of the what? Temporary staff. Hence, we will less the permanent staff hours. What is their hours? That is the capacity we have, which is what? 2,200 hours. Can you see that? Meaning, the difference will be the hours from when? The temporary staff. How many do we have? 275. Name examiner, let's say, Amuno use twice the time they were supposed to have used. Hence, if we want the actual hours that they used, it will be 2 times what? This figure, which is 550. So they are supposed to have used 275, but they used what? 550. Do you understand this working, please?
I was thinking they use instead of using 2 hours for 2 hours for
The plasma.
The temporal staff use 4 hours.
Yes, it's the same concept.
So if they use 4 hours by 1,005.
No. That will be too far. If you are going that way, then it should have been 4 hours. Yes, times the 750. Times the 750. But this will be the perfect approach to go. You need to get the total capacity, okay, of how many hours we are supposed to use based on the units we've produced. Then you find out what is our capacity. Then this is how many hours the temporary staff should have used. But because they are temporary, they are inexperienced, they will use twice as the time. So that's the idea about them.
So I just took the 2 hours to double it and multiply by the 7.
But no.
I thought they would take 4 hours.
Yes, it was a good concept, but here we have to deal with the total hours required, then we less our capacity, then we'll find out how many hours the temporary staff actually work. Now, so based on this, can we calculate the rate variance now? Can we calculate rate variance? Labor rate variance. What would be the labor rate variance? They use 550 hours. So 550 hours should have cost how much? $14 per unit. What per hour? Can I have an answer? 14 by 550.
7,700.
7,700. But this cost, how much did we pay? We paid them $18 per hour times that same 550. What do I have? 900. So that's an adverse variance of 2,200 dollars. There you go. Then efficiency variance. We said efficiency variance is based on what? The actual unit. But in this case, so let's go. We'll do that. Labor efficiency variance. So with the efficiency variance, this is what we say. Remember, they should have used what? 275, but they used 550. So that is what will lead us to their efficiency variance. Okay? So should have used. So maybe let me use that approach. Standard hours, actual hours, different. Then we'll take the difference at what? The standard rate per hour. Standard rate. And then the variance will be here. So we go. Labor hours. They should have used 275, but they used 550. What do I get for the difference? Yes, but 275. Then what is the standard rate per hour? 14. So 14 by 275. 3850. And that's adverse variance because they use more time than they are supposed to what? Use. So that is the idea about it. Now add this to this. Add this to this. It will give you the figure above here. It should give you the figure above it, the total labor variance. That's it. That's it. So that is how we calculate the labor rate variance and labor efficiency variance.